It's Luke and Naomi.
Good late night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I was throw the late night in there and then get all confusey about it.
Why?
I don't know. That was
What's wrong with somebody listening to us late at night?
no. I want to start over. There's nothing wrong with.
Maybe we should.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I always end with the late night, and I wanted
so
to
you
throw
wanted
that.
to start
Yeah,
with it.
if somebody's listening late night, that's awesome. I don't want to have them be an afterthought. That's the whole thing. All right, that was great. Way to start episode 39.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy with it. Seat of our pants, gang. Seat of our pants.
That's what it always was.
We don't prepare at all.
Well, we write down like, hey, we're going to talk about this story. That's about as far as our preparedness goes.
Random scattered notes on Post-its that we have to scurry throughout the house and collect before we start recording.
That sounds about right.
Was that one, or is that a shopping list? I don't know. Just grab it.
Yeah.
And then we decipher
We'll figure it out as we go.
as we roll.
Eggs. Nope, sorry. That was the shopping list. My bad.
Episode 39 in full effect.
We're here. Yeah.
So that means episode 40 is not going to be the week of my birthday,
No, it's not.
because we'll be off that week. We'll be getting off the cruise ship that we won't shut up about.
That's right.
Which we did a whole bunch of cruise ship shopping.
Which was fun, but man, does that add up quickly?
And it's
You don't
just
realize how much stuff you need to go on vacation with.
it's just some basic necessities, and then things that they say you should have to take with you that, we never been on a cruise, so we don't have those things.
Right.
So,
we had to buy a bunch of stuff.
All of that stuff. So we got that out of the way, and then went to a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, a French restaurant.
Yeah.
Like French and fancy.
Like duck
living the life.
And snails.
Yeah.
French restaurant.
Escargot,
Escargot and the chabless.
That's right.
That's what we had
right,
too.
yep.
Had the escargot.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
And we did some oysters and duck and beef Wellington. All the fancy smancy
Oh,
stuff.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We had never been to a French restaurant before. I never had the escargot. I never thought I would. Honestly, it was always like I'd probably never have that.
Who's gonna eat snails? That's weird.
When am I ever going to be in a situation where I'm going to have some snails on my plate, let alone want to eat them?
Right.
And it was the first thing on the appetizer menu. Just boom. It's all right. I guess we got to get it.
That's right.
And oh my God, it was almost the best thing in the whole meal.
It was really good.
Oof.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Naomi had duck. We've never had duck. I think
No.
I may have tried it once before, but
I don't know, and it was all fancy. Like, I put the picture on Instagram. You can find it. It had, like, when you go to a fancy restaurant and then they put the, like, sauce and, like, spirals and all that. It had that all over it. Fancy.
Nice garnish and decoration and all of that. Yeah, it was great. Fancy French restaurant, and
Then a massage. We went and we got a massage the next day.
I wasn't going to throw that in there. That feels kind
like
of
we're rubbing it in.
a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. That's what I did,
Well, it's, we were really tired after doing all that shopping for the cruise. So, had to go eat at a French restaurant and then go get a massage.
Living our best lives,
That's
apparently,
right.
without
That's
even
right.
realizing it. Yeah, it was in a salt cave, too, by the way. That's
Which was really cool. And
especially because
it
it was downtown.
And it had little twinkling lights, and it was just nice.
That was awesome. Who ain't going to like a massage?
Right.
So that was fantastic. French restaurant and a massage. It was a good weekend.
Yes, it was.
Oscars this weekend.
Did not know. Did not pay much attention to it, except for I saw a bunch of memes about Lady Gaga going around. That's about it.
Oh, yeah. So we'll get to the whole Oscars coming up. But two of Pauly Shore's castmates from Encino Man that we just reviewed last week
Yeah.
won Oscars.
Oh, that's great.
And so, Pauly Shore has been in the news. Hey, Pauly, what do you think? But that's exactly what happened. Somebody was asking him, what he thinks about it. And apparently he's, if you know anything about Pauly Shore, he's a goofball, but he is 100% that's him. What you see is, he's not making anything up and all of that stuff.
His weirdness in the movies is how he really is.
So, people apparently...
Did he say, like, buddy and all
I'm
that?
pretty sure.
Okay.
And he may be slightly toned down, but I mean, I've heard interviews with him
Buddy.
before where he's not, he's not on,
Yeah.
but he's still friggin' Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
So apparently people were laughing and poking fun at the fact that both Brendan Fraser, and I don't know how to say his name, it's Ki Hai Kwan, I think,
Okay.
the kid from Indiana Jones and the Goonies,
Yes.
who had the massive comeback in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Well, they were both in Encino Man.
Yeah.
And so everybody's been poking fun at Pauly Shore that both of them got the hell out of Encino Man style movies. And
Yeah.
And apparently Pauly would like you to know that he's not made of stone. He is quoted to have said, "We love to hate people when they're on top. People wanted to smash me down, and they did. I was always nice to everyone, always cool. I put my heart into all my films. Human beings have feelings. It's not like selling real estate."
Aww.
So,
Poor him. And also, like, no, selling real estate would be hard. Like,
heck,
no way.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
He is happy for his co-stars.
Well, that's good.
You can find his quotes about how happy he is for all of them, all over the place. And he
Aw.
says he's ready to jump back into the game if anybody wants to take a chance. But his quote is fantastic. He says, "Someone out there will say, you know what? We're going to do something you wouldn't expect. We'll put Pauly in this role that no one would expect. That's where my heart is." That's what he says.
I'm here for it.
So,
I would like to see him make a comeback.
Wheezing the juice.
All of it.
It would be Pauly Shore.
Yes.
That's exactly what he's saying too. Is that's what you're gonna get?
Of course.
The new Iron Man starring Pauly Shore.
That's going too far.
A little bit, right?
Just a little
A
bit.
little. All right. Let's do some random facts, and then we'll jump into the Oscar winners and all of
that fun stuff.
Yeah. Your weekly dose. Damn it! I can't not do the daily thing. Your weekly dose of Did You Know?
You did great like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
It just pops in there.
Yeah.
Some random facts. Did you know? An estimated 93% of television owning Americans watched Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon in 1969.
That's cool.
On a side note, in 1969, 95% of households owned a television. And now, it's 95.9%.
Wow.
So, like, barely more. Like, at that point, everybody had a TV, and everybody has since.
Yeah.
Did you know there are 5 states that don't have a single city with a population of 100,000 or more?
Wait, 5 states don't
Yes.
have a city that big.
Right.
Alaska's got to be one of them, right?
Apparently not.
Rhode Island? Nobody lives in Rhode Island. Sorry if you live in Rhode Island.
Whatever their Providence, I think, has more than 100,000 people. So
Really?
that counts them out. So the 5 states are Delaware, Maine, Vermont, so you're close,
New Hampshire.
West Virginia, and Wyoming.
Wow. I
And
was way off on
By,
all of these.
by contrast, California has 76 cities with a population over 100,000.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wow.
But also California is big, so,
Yeah.
more people can fit.
Yeah.
It made sense in my mind.
There's
it's
more
fine.
possibility for
Yeah,
larger towns. and
That's
it's by the
exactly
water.
right.
So there you go. Did you know Kid Rock refused to put his song All Summer Long on iTunes? But a karaoke version was available, and it sold so many copies that it wound up higher on the Billboard charts than the original.
That's funny.
The karaoke version hit 19. The real song got to 23.
That's funny.
I love it. Did you know koala bears have fingerprints that look almost exactly like human fingerprints?
Weird.
That is weird. I can't, picture that.
The koala did it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Destined for fingerprints.
You need to get a koala around.
That's right.
Hey, koala, let me get your fingerprints on this stuff. I don't know what
This
I
stuff.
almost a gun. That'd be weird. I don't want to say that. Damn. Finally, did you know in the song "Let It Be" by the Beatles,
All I can think about is crime with Luke and Naomi.
we've switched to true crime podcast, Crime in Progress with Luke and Naomi.
That's right. Don't take our advice, because it won't go well. It just won't.
We'll get a koala bear, but just not for that,
Yeah.
because they seem so damn cute. All right. Finally, did you know in the song "Let It Be" by the Beatles, the lyric "Mother Mary comes to me" isn't about the Virgin Mary.
Okay.
It's about Paul McCartney's mom. Her name is Mary.
Okay.
There you go. Speaking
can
words
see
of
that.
wisdom and all that stuff. That is your weekly dose of Did You Know? Some random facts to impress your friends.
That's right.
And that does bring us to the Oscar winners. And if you don't know by now, Everything Everywhere All at Once killed it. We haven't seen that movie.
No.
So we know nothing.
No. But this isn't the first time we've talked something about the Oscars and did not know what was going on.
Oh, of course not. You got to talk about the Oscars, though. I feel like if you don't, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser, of course, won Best Actor for The Whale.
Which is awesome, because, again, go Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, and
we're happy for him.
We just watched Encino Man last week, and that's what
I'm happy about that.
That's what we reviewed, so that's great. Michelle Yeoh won Best Actress for Everything Everywhere All at Once. The kid from the Goonies, I'm going to learn how to say his name. I really meant to look it up, how to say his name correctly. Ke-Huy Quan, or Hoi Quan, I don't know. The kid from the Goonies won Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress went to Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, too. She was, you've seen her acceptance speeches all over. She broke down crying, thinking about her parents, because they were both nominated for, Academy Awards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people were pissed that Angela Bassett didn't win for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
But we just watched that, and, she was great in it, but she was in, half the movie, and it was good, but I didn't...
I mean, it doesn't matter, because in the end, award shows are award shows.
They're stupid anyway.
It's subjective, every single time.
Yeah.
And what we may think is, hey, no, this person should have won. They did such a great job. It's going to get beat out by something else where you're like, nah, that was terrible.
Yeah,
Or in this case where it's like, hey, that was great, but this happened to be better. Or somebody thought this was better. That's why they won.
Yeah, it's all subjective in the end, And it's just fun to talk about. And, back in whatever it was, 90, when Marissa Tomei won Best Actress for My Cousin Vinny, everybody's like, what the hell? Because if you go back and look at the movies that was up against, and that she was the actresses that she was up against, a lot of people are like, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I thought she did great.
It's an awesome performance.
Yeah.
And an awesome movie, by the way. So there you go. Best International Film, All Quiet on the Western Front. Apparently that's a remake. Best Animated Feature, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay.
The directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once took home that award. And I think we covered the big ones.
Yeah.
So there you go. But the best part of Oscar weekend is absolutely not the Oscars. It is the Razzies.
Yes. I am here for the Razzies.
Yeah, so we slogged through the Oscar stuff to get to the Razzie. A lot of feel-good moments at the Oscars this year. It was a lot different than last year with the slappity slap and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
Some really cool stuff. But the Razzies are where it's at. These are Saturday night. They're the Golden Raspberry Awards, if you've never heard of this.
By the way, I think I mentioned this before. I made Luke watch All About Steve, and Sandra Bullock actually went and accepted her Razzie for that movie, which doesn't happen a lot because I know a lot of times the actors and actresses are not happy to win a Razzie,
right,
and are not going to show up to accept them.
Yeah, it's not exactly prestigious, this one.
No.
Sandra Bullock is one of the more famous ones. Halle Berry accepted one for I think it was her Catwoman movie.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And her speech was hilarious and all of that stuff too. So the Golden Raspberry Award's been around for a while, and they're a lot of fun.
I hope these are movies I know.
No, they're not.
Dang it.
Well, some of them are, but
Okay.
Worst Picture went to the movie Blonde. The Ana de Armas, or whatever the hell her name was. There was a whole bunch of controversy about this movie for the last year or so.
Oh, gosh. Well, we know I live under a rock, so...
There you go. I don't even know what the controversies were.
I've never even heard of this movie.
I feel like Shia LaBeouf was part of it, and he quit, or they fired him, and nobody can figure out if he quit or got fired.
Wow.
I believe that is the same movie I'm talking about. So, yeah, it's a big
I can't
mess.
believe I don't know that, because, I try to keep up on Shia LaBeouf there,
Yeah, his whole descent into
Chaos.
Shia LaBeoufness. Worst actor went to Jared Leto in Morbius.
Okay.
Morbius is a Marvel thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of bummed that was bad, but it's a villain. Stop taking the villains away from the hero and trying to make a movie out of the villain. Just stop. Worst actress went to the Razzies themselves because they got a little excited and nominated a 12-year-old. for worst actress.
Okay.
The girl who was in the Firestarter remake. They nominated her, and everybody was like, "Hey,
like, come
what
on,
the hell's the matter with you?"
Like, she's too young
So
for that.
they issued an apology. They, I would say they did the right thing, but they didn't in the first place, so whatever. But they did their best.
That's just a little in bad.
They did their best to make up for it, and then nominated themselves and gave themselves the award because they're idiots and they know it.
Yeah.
And so at least they, that's kind of cute, sort of, but whatever.
Did someone who works for the Razzies accept that award? Because if they didn't, they really dropped the ball.
I hope so. I really hope so. It doesn't say here on my list or not, but yeah. So there's that. Worst remake, ripoff, or sequel went to Disney's Pinocchio.
Okay, I can see that. I didn't see it, but it's another one of those movies where I'm just like, did you need to remake it?
Yeah. Yeah, yeesh.
Pinocchio.
Let's see. Worst supporting actress went to the girl in Morbius with Jared Leto.
Okay.
So they swept that one. Worst supporting actor, Tom Hanks in Elvis.
All right.
He played the Colonel there, or what was it? I think it's a Colonel. I don't know. All I know is the Homer Simpson version, and that was Colonel Homer. So anyway, Tom Hanks played Elvis's, I think it's his manager or something like that.
Okay.
And had horrible makeup. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
So they made him look, I think, heavier and then way older, and like a Southern guy with the jowls, almost like the Texan from The Simpsons. Right back to The Simpsons.
That's funny. All I could think of was like the guy from KFC,
the Colonel.
the Colonel.
Well, because, there we go.
All right. No, I want to look up a picture of this. Okay, yeah, I guess keep going.
So Tom Hanks as and I wish they would put the names in here, but Tom Hanks and Elvis. If you haven't seen Elvis, it's worth watching, at least for Tom Hanks' Razzie appearance.
Oh gosh!
Yeah,
oh gosh! That is just weird. I'm sorry.
Let me see one more time.
I'm looking at the pictures. Yeah, it just looks rough.
Yeah, for sure.
He just looks kind of creepy.
So
and
I don't know.
Weird and just overweight and older than he already is, and he's already getting older.
Yeah, he's already getting too old for my liking. But
oh my gosh,
I don't know if the real guy actually looked like that or what the hell the deal was. But worst screen couple at the Razzies this year went to Tom Hanks and his latex-laden face.
He should have showed up and picked up these Razzies,
Yeah, I feel like he did, or at least addressed it or something like that. Worst director went to Colson Baker, a.k.a. Machine Gun Kelly, and Modson for Good Morning. I don't know what that is, but Machine Gun Kelly won a Razzie.
Well, good. He can deserve all the Razzies. He's such a
worst,
weirdo.
yeah, right. Worst screenplay went to this Blonde movie.
Yeah.
If you liked it, good.
Good on you.
Yeah, so that's some of the Razzies. Best story out of there between Tom Hanks and the idea that they corrected their mistake and acknowledged it and fixed the worst actress category.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's that. Still more Hollywood news though. We're still going, only because there's a new Flintstones coming out.
I think I'd be here for this.
Elizabeth Banks. Do you know who that is right off the top of your head?
No, but it sounds familiar. I'm
She's
thinking Tyra Banks. No, I don't know.
Elizabeth Banks is like the crazy friend to Mitchell and Cameron in Modern Family.
Okay.
The one who shows up and leaves a baby behind at one point.
Oh, yeah.
She's in a ton of stuff, but I feel like that was the one that you would recognize probably the quickest.
Yes.
She has an appearance in Scrubs, and she's in a bunch of stuff. But she has jumped behind the camera now for a couple of things. She's working on a Flintstones reboot. It's called Bedrock.
Okay.
And she's going to voice Pebbles. Stephen Root is going to be Fred. And this is amazing news. So I haven't seen this.
Who is he?
I know. Yeah, wait till I tell you.
Okay.
So this is an amazing. I haven't seen this. I'm so stoked about this. Stephen Root is the voice of Bill Dauterive in King of the Hill. All right,
I wish he would just talk like that for this, because that would be phenomenal.
He is also Hank's boss in King of the Hill.
Yeah.
He is the stapler guy in the movie Office Space.
Yeah.
The heck is that guy's name? Milton.
Yes.
He's Milton in Office Space. He was
burn this whole place down.
he was in News Radio as well. Jimmy James in News Radio.
I'm kind of curious, because he's very talented voice-wise.
He's a seasoned voice actor.
Do a lot of good things, but I want to hear something funny and just just dumb.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Amy Sedaris is going to be Wilma. Amy Sedaris was Strangers with Candy, if you remember that weird Comedy Central show where she was made up to look super weird and like an old person in high school. It was in the 90s. Amy Sedaris also has a couple of appearances in The Mandalorian. She's the crazy-haired mechanic that Mandalorian leaves Grogu, the Baby Yoda, with.
Okay.
She's in a bunch of other stuff, too. She's a great comedian and really funny, so that'll be cool. Joe Latrulio and Nicole Byer will be Barney and Betty. Joe Latrulio is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's the high-pitched voice guy in the movie I Love You, Man, that I love a ton.
Something about give me all you got.
Yeah, everything you got.
That's what it is.
And he's real high-pitched and all that. I don't know Nicole Byer, but whatever, I'm here for it. And Manny Jacinto is their son, Bam Bam. So there we go. We've got the principal cast for the Flintstones.
Pretty cool.
It's a reboot. So I don't know if we're going movie, if we're going limited series, or
what
full series, or what. But yeah, out of ideas officially. So we're going to reboot everything. But hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
Nostalgia's nostalgia. And finally, the most ridiculous story of the week. A guy is suing Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you have any idea why?
Because he found a chicken head?
No. And could you sue for that? Because that happened to me. But I like the place that it happened. And wasn't their fault. Anyway.
I don't think you can sue for that kind of stuff because big corporations become big corporations for a reason.
Yeah.
They have lawyers and attorneys and people who write all this stuff down to protect themselves.
Well, Buffalo Wild Wings being a big corporation is going to get away with this one. So dude from Chicago claims that Buffalo Wild Wings boneless wings is misleading to consumers because they're just chicken nuggets. Now, a lot of people like to kind of complain about this on the internet and just really...
But we all know that they're chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
It's just boneless wings make us not feel like we're 12.
So,
leave us alone.
Yeah, that's the claim. The boneless wings, really just chicken nuggets. He filed a lawsuit Friday accusing them of false advertising. He's seeking an unspecified amount in compensation.
But they are boneless wings.
So my whole thing, what did I say?
How is that misleading?
But
what is the difference between a boneless wing
and
a chicken nugget?
Okay, so he has an argument here, but unspecified amount of like, what do you want? A bunch of free chicken wings? Because like, why do you get all the money if they're misleading everybody else? Anyways, basic argument is that if you call something wings, most people would assume they're made of actual wing meat, and I want to throw in there and have a bone in it, but it's really chunks of breast meat that's deep fried to made to look like wings. That's his whole argument.
Okay.
I can beat that argument right here.
Okay.
They're called boneless wings because they're covered in the sauce that go on chicken wings.
Yeah.
They're covered in wing sauce. That's why they call them boneless wings. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? So the company's not even denying it either. Buffalo Wild Wings is great. They downplayed the lawsuit in a tweet that said, "It's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham, and our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo."
Yep.
So
there's always going to be somebody who's going to, try to fight the man, but it ain't going to happen.
And technically they're not nuggets either because, this is gross, nuggets made with reconstituted meat, tiny bits of meat molded into a nugget shape.
Yeah.
So, the guy...
it's not really that gross. We know what we're eating.
The guy suing claims their product is closer to nuggets than actual deboned wings. The lawsuit also notes other companies sell similar menu items, but don't call them wings, like Papa John calls them chicken poppers.
It's not a good argument.
I love it. I had to bring it up coming from Utica and upstate New York and all of that, and the home of buffalo wings just down the road from where I grew up. And
everybody crazy about the wings.
Yeah.
That's probably where this started. Did you mention where this guy was from?
Chicago.
Oh, you did.
If it was from Buffalo, I would go, oh my God, he might win. But no. And it's like, just no. If Anchor Bar wanted to take on Buffalo Wild Wings, I don't think they would win.
No.
But again, they're called boneless wings because they're soaked in wing sauce.
Who cares?
That's why. Also,
if you don't like it, then don't eat there. Nobody is forcing you to eat boneless wings.
Exactly.
If you like it better as the actual wings, then get those.
So be monitoring this story closely too, because I hope C-SPAN has the proceedings and all of that.
That's right. Like all the other
Court
things
TV.
that was going on, the
wanna-
Murdoch trials and all that. Like, let's hear about this. The Wings.
Court
Yeah.
TV, the trial of the century.
I'm here
Buffalo
for it.
Wild Wings versus Dingus from Chicago.
That's right. And that's what it says at the bottom of the screen, too. Dingus.
Speaking of dinguses, people who get dumb gifts for their significant others without thinking about it. That's our homework for this week.
Yeah.
This one's good. Couple of good answers here. Loving this. What's the worst gift you could give your significant other for their birthday? For their birthday, too. I don't know why that makes a difference, but what the hell?
It does, because it's your birthday, and the birthday is supposed to be all about you and special and all of that. So I'm going to give my answer before we jump into this.
Right.
Yeah.
So the worst gift that I could give you or you could give me?
The worst gift that you could give me would be nothing. Like, it's my birthday. We got to celebrate. We got to do something, you know. So if I would rather have a gift I don't want than nothing. Like, nothing is just no.
All right. So for a tangible answer, the worst gift I could give you would be a video game. Because it would be absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd break it, like right in front of you, too. There's my entertainment for 30 seconds.
Worst gift you could give me, I don't know, but I'm sure I could come up with something if I had thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to think about it for each other, so I didn't think of myself.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I
Surprise.
guess we did this backwards. I did not follow the directions correctly. Again, incomplete, or can I have like an A for effort?
No, you still win, because that's what everybody thinks goes on nowadays.
All right.
Don't get me started on that. But I did it wrong. Can I still do it? No, you can't.
Come on, A for effort.
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
All right.
All right, what real answers do we have over there?
My mom started off the comments. This is great. She says, for me to give my husband a bad gift for his birthday would be a puppy.
That's a good one,
No.
because they have 5 dogs.
Yeah,
or 12, I forget.
And none of them Dan wanted at all. Bitch and Dan's like, listen, stop. Like, we don't have to have more. Mom's like, oh, yeah, we need 11.
Wait, I got it. Your gift would be if I gave you, like, the spiked seltzer or something like that.
Nice.
Like a 24-pack of spiked seltzers. I feel like that would end in violence. Okay, anyways, back to the puppies.
It would end in wasted seltzer. I guess that'd be a thing. Let's see. Snowman. Jeremy says, Tori would hate a Chicago concert ticket.
Okay.
Because her brother used to play Chicago nonstop in the house sound system when she was growing up.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a very thoughtful answer.
it really
you know?
is. He also said she hates the word moist, so anything moist.
Oh,
He just wanted to throw that in there, I guess.
But you could throw in like the moist cake box things.
There you go.
know?
There you go.
Moist chocolate cake. Here's a whole bunch of them for you.
Can't buy that brand.
That's right.
El Weevo. An El Weevo sighting.
All right.
I don't know if El Weevo is listening on the regular or not, but we love El Weevo. He's got great answers. He says the worst gift would be penis enlargement pills, especially if it's for the wife. And
El Weevo, we've missed you.
you know, for real, especially because 50% of everything he said when we were actually live on the radio in New Mexico, we could not repeat or let get on the air.
How many times we had to hit that dumb button?
So there you go. Good answer, El Weevo. All right.
She's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with these?
Well, she knows what to do with them. That's the worst part. Anyway. Let's see. So Tori says Snowman would hate another firearm or ammo.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Why do I feel like that's sarcasm?
Yeah.
Let's see here. He said I would hate to lose another one in a boating accident, too. I don't know what that means. So, okay. Let's see. Ralph says the worst gift he could receive is an Android phone. I am with you. That'd be a bad one.
I like it.
Yeah.
I just saw a meme yesterday where it was just something where, like, it's got the picture of the person that looks like, what the heck are you talking about kind of thing? And this is when somebody asked for an Android charger.
Yeah, right.
Basically, yeah.
Perfect.
You're on your own. You know,
Perfect.
if you have an Android, I'm sorry, but you are. You have to come prepared.
Oh, man. Good answer, Ralph. Good
Yeah.
answer. Let's see here. Don Henry says, truthfully, cut flowers. He says, you don't get my wife a living plant. You're likely to get hurt. That's awesome.
I love it.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Todd says vacuum cleaner. He says never give her a vacuum cleaner as a gift for any birthday, anniversary, or any other holiday. No matter how much she complains about the old one, how much she hints about how much she needs a new one, never give her a vacuum cleaner and a gift.
Yeah. It's not a gift. It's not a gift unless it specifically asks for, hey, for my birthday, can you buy me that vacuum cleaner? That's what I want. That is the only way you can get around that. Otherwise, if it's, I hate my vacuum cleaner, I can't wait to have this new one, you can't buy it as a gift. You just gotta buy it.
Even if you ask for it for a gift specifically, I might just get it and give it to you like before or after the birthday or holiday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to be like, hey, here's that vacuum cleaner. And then,
but it's not your birthday
present.
present.
And then 3 days later, get you a damn birthday present. Because, yeah, Todd's right. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Leslie says, one year her husband gave her floor mats for her car.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, man.
Oh.
No. I don't know. I'm not into the practical gifts. Not for a birthday. I can see, like, for Christmas, you get something, like, cute and wonderful, whatever. But you can get a practical gift then, too. But not for a birthday. Birthdays aren't meant for practical gifts. It's for extravagant gifts and silly things that you just want. An ice cream cake.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, the ice cream cake. So much.
Always.
Ralph's got one more. He says his wife said the worst gift is flowers because they die. And the worst gift he says he can get is a lawnmower. And a little blast from the past. He says the first time he ever called into Luke and Naomi in the morning when we were in New Mexico, he said was to tell us, probably same or similar topic. He said that she bought him a lawnmower when they had no yard. But she said it was just in case gift.
Just in case the grass starts growing and you have a yard?
Just in case they end up getting a yard.
Ah, okay.
Or, yeah, maybe, you put some sod down and get rid of the gravel. I don't know what their situation is, but that's a thing in New Mexico because we had just rocks instead of a yard.
Which I was fine with. But
there you go.
That's besides the point.
So a little more blast from the past. Now, if you're new to Luke and Naomi on air, we were on the air in New Mexico a few years ago for a couple of years, and we would award people with the best answer of the day with Listener of the Day.
That's right.
Ralph finished off when we left New Mexico with tied for the most, right?
He had I think 9.
9. Because
the goal was to get the 10th one during the podcast.
So he says here, a little addendum, he says, you fought for me, being me, fought for him to get his very first Listener of the Day that day. But Naomi went with Joey Sucks instead.
I did.
And so that would have given Ralph 10.
I kind of feel guilty. I'm sorry, Ralph.
His first ever time call, and he got shut out by Joey Sucks of all people, too.
Yeah, I know.
That was
That's
another
gotta
character
hurt.
from way back in the day
Oh,
that was a
gosh.
caller on the show. So there you go. A little blast from the past and some great answers
Yes.
for the worst gift you could give your significant other for their birthday.
That's right.
Got to get to a new homework. We actually have when we're ready, and we'll remember.
We're prepared this time.
Listen, Brandon is so fed up with our BS and not remembering things. He said, listen, if you really want me to do this stuff, I will. Just let me know so I can get it done. Sent me that message this morning. I said, well, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
I actually haven't replied to him. I just remember he messaged me now as we're recording this 12 hours later.
Brando, I am so sorry for Luke's behavior.
It's great.
Yeah.
He's just fed up. I'm done with you people.
Well, I understand. We are kind of all over the place.
Oh, man. So we got to come up with a good homework for next week.
Yes.
Because after next week, we're going to be off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, which is going to be kind of sad.
It's
I
gonna
miss
be.
everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe we throw something up on the TikTok while we're on the ship.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No, I am going to enjoy adult beverages.
It depends
from
on what level
morning
of
to night.
Yeah, it depends on what sheet we're at in the wind.
It's gonna be like 12.
1.5, maybe we'll be TikTok goofy. 3, you don't want to see that.
No.
All right. Anyway, but we'll be going on the cruise in 2 weeks. So we thought maybe we do a little bit of a cruise theme homework. And,
a fun one.
And a fun one, too, because we're going to bring back one of our favorite things ever was Forward Friday.
Yeah.
Now, since we don't do the podcast on Fridays.
It's just 4 words.
It's just a 4-word week, I guess. 4-word week. Look, still got alliteration and all of that stuff. I know that Forward Friday didn't have alliteration, but radio people love alliteration. So
That's right.
a 4-word week.
Okay.
All right, your homework, bringing it back. 4 words And 4 words only, rule breakers.
No 3, no 5.
I'm looking at you, Jennifer. Follow the rules. I'm kidding. Okay. 4 words you never want to hear when you're at sea.
Yep.
I'm not talking about when you're about to get on the boat. I'm not talking about after you just got off the boat. I'm talking about when you're at sea, when you're on the water, when you're out there, when you can't see land. 4 words you never want to hear when you're at sea.
There goes my wallet. Right off the boat. Splash.
There you go. Starting us off strong, too. I
That's
like
right,
that. There
yeah.
goes my wallet.
See, a good night's sleep. I got the brain working.
4 words.
Yep.
Just like that. So if you're new, this used to be a thing we would do every Friday. We stole it from our friends in New York.
That's right.
It's just so much fun. We had to bring it to New Mexico. And, well, now we're back on the East Coast with it. So
That's right.
4 words you never want to hear at sea on the Facebook page. I'm going to try to get that post up fast again. I've been doing okay. So
Good on you.
We'll have that up there. 4 words you never want to hear at sea. I am excited to hear those.
Me too.
Looking forward to it.
I'm also a little nervous because I'm sure some of these are going to make me go, maybe we shouldn't get on that boat.
Well, so I thought, hey, why not lean into the fear a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll laugh
Lean
and
all the way in.
see what you can do to freak us out a little bit, and we'll laugh about it and maybe
Cry
bug out.
ourselves to
Maybe
sleep.
bug out before we get on the boat. Not go at all. All right. Well, 4 words you never want to hear at sea.
He's
I
counting.
see dead people.
Definitely don't want to deal with that at sea.
Which is going to lead us perfectly into... I can't. Luke and Naomi's, Naomi's Under a Rock review this week.
That's right.
Finally got around to watching The Sixth Sense.
Which I just feel so funny saying because it's like, how have you not watched that yet?
I want to start off the Under a Rock review with spoiler alert, because there's a big one coming up.
Yes.
If you haven't seen The Sixth Sense, hit pause.
Go watch
the
it.
Sixth. It's only an hour and 45 minutes.
It's not bad.
I think it's right around there. It's not long at all, and it's an easy watch too.
It's an easy watch.
We'll get to all of Naomi's feelings and stuff and your review questions after your review. So I haven't seen this but once in my life. Barely remembered it.
Okay.
And I forgot how decent it was. Shyamalama had a decent movie once.
Yes.
How about that?
And a big thing about his movies, with the crazy twist and all that, his movies are good for like one watch,
Pretty much.
Because then the crazy twist and then it kind of loses its point
You've seen
afterwards.
It, and it has to have been 20 years since I saw this. So,
Yeah.
it's a good distance to put between the viewings. So,
Okay.
all right, let's do it. Take it away.
All right, so let me start by saying I know that he sees dead people. I have seen that spoofed 6 million times. I have known that from the beginning, whatever. All right, so intense way to start the movie. Bruce Willis gets shot by one of his past patients.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, like just instant into this movie.
Weren't even ready for
Bam,
it, right? Like,
here
yeah,
we go.
head
Yes.
first.
So I'm glad that they did explain his character by having that award that was framed sitting in the living room, and Bruce Willis is with his girlfriend or wife or whatever. I find out later it's his wife. It's my notes say girlfriend, wife a whole bunch of times because it takes a while for them to actually show that, they are married. Okay. So anyways, Bruce Willis and his wife are in the living room. They're drinking wine. There's this award sitting there, and the wife reads what is on the award, so we don't have to see him going to work every day and have him build that character for us. They're going to take care of it by, taking this shortcut here, which I actually thought was really well done, to get that background information without dragging out the movie too long. Him being a child psychologist, being the best of the best or whatever, this, prestigious award for his great work.
Yeah, they get it across in all of 3 minutes.
Yeah, which is awesome, because otherwise, again, we'd need to see him go to work. We'd need to see some of his patients. It'd be at least a 15-minute ordeal. All right, next note says, cute kid. No wonder he was so famous from this role, because
Right.
he is. He is just so cute. And then when the kid is looking at Bruce Willis, what is it, Dr. Malcolm something.
Bruce
whatever.
Willis is fine.
Yeah. He just looks so sad. This kid has got to be the saddest looking kid I have ever seen in my entire life. The big puppy dog eyes, the eyebrows that kind of like just the way they go down. He looked so sad, and it killed me, not only in this scene, but through the entire movie.
He was a phenomenon, man.
Yes.
It was
like,
a
did he
worldwide
win
thing.
an award? Because the kid should have. It was amazing.
I'm not sure if he won. I bet he was nominated, though. That's a good question.
Yeah. So, okay, I like Bruce Willis's mind-reading game as he's trying to get the kid to sit down and talk with him, where he's like, if I say something true, you got to take a step towards the chair. If I say something that's not true, then you can take a step back. If you get to the chair, you have to sit down. If you get to the doorway, you can leave. Thought that was kind of a cute way to get the kid to open up and talk.
Right.
All right, spoiler alert. I already know Bruce Willis is dead.
Oh, my God.
Yes. I found that out thanks to 50 First Dates because Drew Barrymore mentions that after they watched The Sixth Sense.
That's where it was from.
For 500 days in a row.
There's so many pop culture references where they blow that for you, and they did it years later and all that stuff. But the 51st Dates one, there was one I was
That's
like,
the one
I just
that
couldn't
stands
place
out when Drew Barrymore just, I can't believe Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. So I already know Bruce Willis is dead.
That's fantastic.
So, again, found that out thanks to 50 First Dates. So what I do notice, like when he comes home late and his wife is already asleep, she's surrounded by those tissues from crying over losing her husband.
Oh, yeah, the wedding videos playing.
Yeah.
His stuff's all over the place.
She gets that chill when he enters the room. And, of course, people are supposedly to get the chills when a spirit or ghost enters the room. This is, again, before they show later people's breath showing, like, the temperature has actually dropped. This is just, it's great acting that pulls everything together and great writing that ties everything together later. I just happen to know what's going to happen already.
Right. One of the cool things about the movie is the way they used all of the ghost theory, the cold and all that. This is well before ghost hunters and paranormal activity and all, before that was super mainstream that all those things would happen. He used all those things as ways to know that there was stuff around. It was really cool. Yeah,
it was really well done. And then, of course, he meets his girlfriend at that Italian place. He's late, and he says, lately I can't keep track of time. Then he's doing this whole monologue about the kid and how the kid is like his father, and the cases are so similar. And she's not saying anything, and she's just sipping her coffee or tea or whatever and just kind of like blankly staring off in the distance. And I get that it's supposed to look like she's mad, and at the end she says happy anniversary and pays and all of that kind of stuff. But again, I know he's dead and he's not really there. But it was so well done that if I didn't know that, I would probably think that he was still alive.
It was fun watching it in that way, because again, I think this is the second time I've ever seen it, so I know what happens and all of that stuff, so I'm watching it in the same way. And I almost stopped you and was like, try not to watch it that way, but then I was like, no, this is the point of the Under a Rock review. This is you watching a movie in 2023. So all of that, all that's fair game.
If I had happened to manage to get this far and not know that he was dead,
I would have been.
Of course, this would be a completely different review.
That would have been awesome.
Again, enough time has passed that nobody needs to go spoiler alert anymore because, first of all, it's already been spoiled, and again, enough time has passed.
It's been almost 30 years, I think, since the movie. It was like a 96 movie, which don't ever say that again. Wow.
No, definitely not. Okay, so at one point, Bruce is asking Cole basically, like, what do you want to get out of these sessions? And it's Cole, right?
Yeah.
He's basically like, well, what about what I don't want? And, Bruce is like, okay, well, what do you not want? And he says, I don't want to be afraid anymore, which is something that his dad had said. Which, again, I don't know if I mentioned that the dad was the patient earlier.
It is?
Yeah. His dad is Vincent that shoots him.
Really?
You really don't. Yes. That's why the two cases are so similar. The dad kept saying, I know why you don't want to be alone. I know what happens when you're alone.
When
and
do they say that it's his father?
Because he was saying that this, he mentions it when they're out at dinner, the Italian place. He can't keep track of time. The whole monologue about the kid and his father and how the cases are so similar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Surprise!
All right. Hello.
Yeah. So
I totally missed that.
because the kid was acting just like the dad, and the dad had these issues and everything.
Wow, that's a big chunk to miss.
Oh gosh, now I'm scared. What if that's not the case? That's how I read this situation. So if it's not, I don't care. That's
easy
how
I can make her second guess herself
yeah.
too.
No. We're gonna go like that. That
Yeah.
is what's happening
Yes.
here.
Stick with the confidence.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. So again, I gotta find my notes because I had to scroll all the way up for that. Said he doesn't want to be afraid anymore, just like his dad had said when he shot Bruce Willis earlier. So then we're in the schoolhouse, and it's Cole is yelling at the teacher to stop staring at him like that, and it's just kind of a weird and overly intense scene.
Intense is a good word.
And then he starts yelling, stuttering Stanley at his teacher, and it's just so weird, and you can just feel the awkwardness and uncomfortableness. But you know that the kid has to know something, because how would the kid have that information and know that the teacher used to be made fun of for stuttering all the time?
Yeah.
You know, so that's like your first taste of, this kid is legit. My next note says this movie is really sad. That poor kid. That's when they go to the birthday party and the bullies locked him up in that dungeon room. That scene is just awful. Absolutely awful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Eesh, that's... Ugh.
I mean, he sounded so freaked out. He sounded like he was legit being physically and mentally tortured. And even if he was someone who was weird or an outcast in school, or, you know, they called him a freak and all that stuff, I don't know. I just feel like one of the kids should have been like, okay, this is enough. Like, open the door.
Yeah,
like,
no,
we've crossed a line
but
at this point.
They were freaked out by what was going on, too.
But they're just standing there staring.
Because they were so freaked out and dumbfounded, too. I mean, yeah, they're idiots, of course.
I don't know. When it comes to scolding anyone in this movie, I'm going to scold the two bullies. Like, come on, guys. You've crossed a line. You should have went and got
We haven't
help.
gotten all the way through it yet. We you know, I'm sure you'll find something to yell at Bruce for.
Actually, I don't. I don't yell at him in
No?
this. No.
All right.
But yeah, I have got a lot of notes that say, you know, this is really sad. I don't think I like this movie. This poor tortured kid. Again, he does it so well in those sad eyes. Like, I feel that I watched a kid get tortured. Like, it was just heart-wrenching.
Wow.
My next note says this is the worst movie ever. That was the point when Bruce was saying that he can't help the kid and he's going to have to transfer him. And, like, he's given up on this kid. And that's the last thing that he needs. He's supposed to help this kid, and everyone is crying, and it was just... it was so
It was a heavy
sad.
scene, yeah.
It really was. Then we get to the point where Bruce knows the truth now, because he's listening to old case files on Vincent, Cole's dad, and he hears the spirit or ghost or whatever in the background of the tape, because they left the tape recording when he had stepped out of the room to talk to a different doctor, and he had turned up the sound all the way. And I really liked how they did it. You know, he turns it up to 10. You can hear all the
the static and whatnot.
because it's so loud, and then you hear faint voices, and it's freaky, and it's kind of like, oh, so the dad had this issue too. So the kid is telling the truth. He is seeing dead people, like they are talking to him. So then they come up with the idea to help the spirits. So Cole is basically now like ghost whisperer here.
Yeah, right.
Which is cool. He could help out so many people, but also that's a really scary idea because, again, he had scratches on his back from some of the ghosts, spirits, whatever. I feel like, yeah, you could have some that go good, and I feel like other ones would suck you in, and this could go so bad. You know, we already have a tortured, traumatized kid. Maybe Ghost Whisperer is not the best course of action. So it was really hard to know how to feel about that, where it's like, okay, we're gonna help. You know, we're going to listen.
Especially when he starts.
Yes. You know, and it's that girl that's, you know, throwing up and all of that, and then he helps by he
exposes the stepmother.
Yes.
With the hidden camera and then the tape and all that.
Yeah, and you know, and they go to the funeral, and he brings the tape that's in a box and gives it to the dad and says, you know, your daughter wanted you to see this. And then he's watching it and just realizes what had happened. Basically, you know, these spirits and all that are getting closure.
Yeah.
And so is the family, you know. Well, as much closure as you can get in a situation like that.
Yeah, I know it. Answers anyway.
Yeah, so it's really interesting how it plays out. I like what they did. And I love how they had him break the news to his mom.
The way in the car and all of that.
They're in the car. There's a car accident up ahead, and they're, you know, it's kind of like, hey, what's going on? I hope everybody's okay. And the son says, you know, I know somebody, the girl got really hurt. She died, or whatever he says to her. And she's like, how do you know that? How can you see that? And she's looking all around, and he mentions that she's standing right next to the window. Obviously, she's freaked out and thinks, okay, what the heck is going on with my kid? He's got those random scratches. He lies to me because of a butterfly brooch that ends up in his room all the time.
Bumblebee pendant.
That's what it is. What did I say?
Butterfly brooch.
Okay.
Good enough.
Yeah, we got the idea. I'm doing the spoof version, the B
dollar,
version.
The dollar store version.
Yes. So, like, you know, the mom is just like, not at her wit's end, but, you know, is her son crazy?
Yeah, she looks about, at that point, and, you know, she's exasperated.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Absolutely. But how he had specifics about his grandma.
Well, when he
about
starts.
her mom. Yeah.
He starts, and she's like, no, don't do that. You know, like, whatever.
You know she's gone.
And then he gets into those details.
Yeah, about the specific answer to the question. His mom would always ask her, are you proud of me, or do I make you proud, or whatever? And he's like, she says yes every day.
Yeah.
And it's just, and her crying and then trying to like hold back her tears, and
the story about, you know, she thought the mom missed the dance recital.
Yes,
but,
and
know,
she was in the back, and all of that. It's just, it's such a powerful scene, and I'm glad. You know, instead of having the mom think their kid is crazy, who wants to see that for the movie? But I could have seen it going that way too. So I'm glad. It would just be awful, you know, have to deal with being called a freak, being tortured by spirits, and then having his mom not believe him on top of that would just be too much.
It would. And, you know, some movies are ending like that nowadays, but thankfully in the 90s, this one wrapped. But I like when he's telling his mother the truth and all that, and he gets to the grandma stuff, and she's like, no, and she's trying to stop him.
Yeah.
And he just plows right ahead and
he
finishes. There was no
needed
beating around the bush there. It's just done. I love that.
He needed to, you know, because she needed to hear this and know that, hey, I'm not crazy. I know these details, and she wants me to tell you. You know, again, he's a ghost whisperer now. All right, so now we get to where Bruce is going to talk to his wife while she's sleeping, because then she has to listen. That was the advice of Cole. And again, he finds out he's dead in that scene, the cold air, the breath, and when she drops the wedding ring and it rolls on the floor and he realizes he's not wearing it.
And
it's
everything
this,
hits him. And
yeah, you know, and of course in dramatic fashion as he's like falling up the stairs and into the wall as he's just, you know, I can't imagine finding out you're dead when you thought you were alive. I don't know how that would hit.
Yikes.
But probably something like that. Very emotional scene as well, because the, you know, why did you leave me and all of that. And then when it's, I think I can go now. I had to help somebody out. And, she's like, looks like she's starting to smile a little bit and actually let him go so he can, move on. Was just heart-wrenching. I cried. I was done. I was like, I'm never watching this movie again. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's great.
It was
hurt
really
funny.
So bad, but it wrapped up so well. It was a great movie. It was done very, very well. And great acting all around,
So she turns to me as the movie ends, as she's crying because
Yep.
of how it ended, and says, "This movie is terrible."
That's right.
So we'll find out.
Yeah.
So is that it for your notes?
That's it.
All right. So now we get to the questions part, your review questions that'll help us wrap up.
Wait a minute. Did you look it up while I was talking to see if Vincent is Cole's dad?
I did.
Is he?
From what I found, I don't know if anything's 100% airtight fact, but it looks that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because again, that's how I read this situation.
Oh, I'm sure
if it
Snowman will let
wasn't,
us know.
Yeah. If it wasn't, then M. Night Shyamalan is wrong.
So he's got a way to make things just nicely spooky in his, just creepy enough in his films.
Yeah.
That I've
Because it
noticed.
wasn't like too gory. I mean, there was a few where it was just
stuff.
gross.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too gory where I'm like, we really didn't need to do that much. And spooky enough where I'm like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yes.
All right. So before we get to the actual review questions, I have one I have to ask you. Did you hate that they didn't say the title of the movie?
I didn't even notice until you just said that.
If this happens to be your first look at Naomi's Under a Rock review, Naomi absolutely gets tickled when they say the movie title in the film.
Yeah.
And when the better way they find to work it in, the better. She just loves it.
I feel like it would have ruined this movie if they did that. The kid would have to say something like, I have a sixth sense. Or it seems like the kid has a sixth sense. Like, I feel like it would have just had to be forced in there.
A little bit.
So I'm glad that they didn't.
All right.
Did not kill me that they didn't. I just like when they do.
All right. Your review questions for The Sixth Sense. Did you like it? Number one.
No, it was a horrible movie. It was so sad. I cried multiple times. Like, I was not ready for that. No, I did like it. It was very well done. Across the board, again, spooky without being too spooky. The acting was awesome and believable. And that poor kid, like,
Haley Joel Osment was nominated for an Oscar for that, by
Okay.
the way.
should have won it.
Didn't win, but yeah. Crazy.
Because, I mean, his
Crazy how
sad
good he was, right?
eyes and his tortured soul and his... No. That was just so well done.
Made his whole career, and now he don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
Well, good on him.
Pretty much from that one. I mean, he did other stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you liked The Sixth Sense. That's
I did.
great. What did you know about The Sixth Sense going in? This is going to be probably one of the longer answers to this question, I think.
Again, I knew he saw dead people. I knew Bruce Willis was dead. I didn't really know too much more about the movie.
You just knew the big spoilers, basically.
Yeah, I knew all the spoilers. But
That's great.
even at that, it was still a good movie knowing those spoilers.
Okay, so your thoughts going into The Sixth Sense, knowing now what you have revealed that you knew going in.
I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be kind of boring.
Yeah?
I figured, again, I do know the spoilers. I know that he sees dead people. I thought, that was going to be... I thought it... Like, that I see dead people and all that, and how many times it's been spoofed. I thought it was going to be cheesy. Because I feel like a lot of times things get spoofed because they're goofy to begin with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. So I was really surprised by that.
Run, Forrest, Run wasn't a goofy thing to begin
No.
with, and that got spoofed all to hell,
Yeah, absolutely. So going in, I thought it was going to be, a little bit cheesy on that level. And I just thought it was going to kind of drag and be boring because I knew the story, but I really didn't. I just knew the big twist.
All right, cool. So yeah, you like the details and the filler and the way you get to the twist.
Yes.
Cool. What surprised you? Seeing that the twist was already revealed for you years ago. What
Yeah.
surprised you about The Sixth Sense?
I think again just how entertaining it was, how everything tied together, and just how well it was done.
You know, I don't know why I'm thinking of this now. I love the little side sort of notes in the movie. When she's looking at the pictures that she has of him, his mom is looking at the pictures on the wall, and there's the little gleam in there, and every picture she discovers, you know?
I had to stop myself for writing a note about that because I was like, what? You realize that now after you've had these pictures hung up? Like, you had to put the frames around them. You're just noticing that gleam
Just not
now?
paying attention.
I don't know.
You look at the kid, not the little thing, you know, but she just happened to notice that. I thought that I loved that, and like the side story with the first girl that he helped. You know, just how you now all of a sudden you're watching a complete other story.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I
No,
just wanted to
no.
throw that in there. So what else surprised you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
I know I totally ruined that answer. I'm sorry.
No. Just again, the movie itself being that entertained by it. I thought it was going to be, you know, dramatic and slow and all of that. So it was surprising that it wasn't.
Cool. Would you have liked it more or less if you were younger? Now, let's put an age on this.
Yes.
I want to say 18.
Ooh, that is tough. That is so tough. I would say, oh gosh. Hang on, I
mean
need
to
some
make it
time
that
to
difficult.
think about it. No, because if I was like 18 and didn't know the twist ending and all of that kind of stuff, I could see myself going, oh my gosh, that was insane. What a crazy movie.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think I would understand, you know, just how sad it was for this kid and being that tortured soul and all of that. And then, you know, Bruce Willis being dead and, you know, the sadness between not being there with his wife anymore. I don't think the emotional level would hit me the same. The shock value would go up if I was younger. The emotional value would go down.
Okay.
How about that?
Great
Okay,
answer,
let's
honestly.
go with that.
Because that, you know, it's not an easy, you know, answer to come
Well,
up with. It's just
especially
not.
this movie. You know, if it comes to something stupid like Encino Man, of course, if I'm younger, I'm going to like this movie because it's stupid. Green Mile, of course, I'm going to like that as I'm older because I'll understand it better. This, it's, oh gosh, you know, it depends.
Yeah, right. What was your favorite part?
Favorite part. Huh. I don't know.
There's some decent moments in the film, you know, with the step forward, step back game. That's a good little moment.
I did like
The
that
discovery
moment.
of the voices in his father's tapes is a really cool moment. I mean, these are just personal ones for me. So,
But I don't know. I don't know what I liked best. I think what stuck out more is just all the sad stuff, all the bad things. And I don't like the spooky factor because I don't like the paranormal ghost and
yeah, we're not going
spirits
to be
and all
doing
of that
we're
kind
not
of
going to
stuff.
be doing any Amityville horrors on Under a Rock
No,
reviews. That's
no,
for
definitely not. I cannot do any of those. I can't say that I have a favorite part in the movie.
Sure. Nothing jumps out that you're like, oh man, if I was watching it, I would be excited for that part to come up.
No, absolutely not. I think it was more of just gut wrenching and breaking my heart.
You
through the
answered
whole
the
movie.
last question so well. This one does. That's fine. You get a pass on this one. You
Okay.
know, no big deal. What was your least favorite part?
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
You know,
Okay.
this poor kid. I cannot get
I'm
over.
not lying when I say she turned to me at the end of the movie as she's crying and said that was horrible.
It really was. And again, the kid just did so freaking well of, you know, looking so sad and believable that like this was really happening. And then that moment that he has with Bruce Willis when Bruce is like, you know, I can't treat you anymore. Like,
Yeah.
like when they're both starting to cry, I lost it. I'm like, this is awful. This is who freaking wrote this? Because I need to have a word with them.
M.
This is
Night
awful.
Shyamalan.
I cried a lot during this movie. So that was my least favorite part.
The
Was all
crying.
the times that this movie made me cry.
All right. Here we go. This one's sort of loaded. Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Yes.
With
I
or
would.
without knowing the spoiler?
Yes, absolutely. Because even if you know the spoiler, it is so well done. It is such a good movie still.
Well, you know, what's kind of funny, if you think about it, the spoilers, because like you said, you didn't understand the I don't want to
The
say
actual
depth, because it's not
plot.
like it's a super deep movie or
But I
anything
didn't
like
understand the plot of the movie. All I know is the kid sees dead people and Bruce Willis is dead.
Yeah.
That doesn't really actually fill in all the gaps of what the movie is about.
Those two things have basically like shrouded the rest of the the meat of the movie. So when you
Yes.
actually get to watch it, it's solid.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Would you watch it again?
Absolutely not. No way.
Honestly.
Honestly, I have no business ever watching that movie again. Again, now that I've seen the meat and bones and all that, it's a really well
Kinda
done.
literally, too.
Yeah, it's a really well done movie, but I don't need to see it again.
You
And
wanna put yourself
also,
through that again?
Well, that's the second point. I am not putting myself through that again. But I don't think the movie has a lot of rewatchability. It's not something that you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I'll put on The Sixth Sense. That's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie, but you don't need to see it again.
I feel like kind of like I did. It has it has been a long time since I saw it, so it's
So
like
I would say 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Then you can watch it. I would say 10. After
Having-
10 years, you can watch it again. And then in another 10 years, you can watch it again.
we almost watched it on the same level because you know the outcome, and I forgot a lot of the substance of the movie.
Yeah.
So, I could see that. If you haven't seen it in a long time, go back and watch it because, I mean, it's the one M. Night Shyamalan movie worth watching.
Yeah.
I mean, Signs is like, okay.
I've never seen that one either.
Maybe we could do Signs eventually if we're...
But I know the plot of that one, too. The water.
Oh, Christmas. I don't think the substance of that movie is going to fill in the gaps for you like The Sixth Sense did. Though.
Well, it's bad, too, because I already have The Sixth Sense under my belt now, so I would...
Now you're like the rest of us, and all the rest of his movies are going to let you down.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
So I
much
guess
it.
we're done with his movies.
I mean, we saw Old recently,
Yes.
which was like, hey, okay, but still not as good as The Sixth Sense.
Oh, gosh, no.
He hasn't. I mean, unfortunately for him, it's got to be a bummer as a filmmaker, to not be able to top what you did the first time.
Sure.
But at least he keeps getting cracks at it. There you
Yes.
go. All right, would you stop and watch The Sixth Sense if it's on TV?
No, changing the channel right away.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Why? Watch 15 minutes so I can start crying?
There's a couple of those scenes where it'd be, oh, all right, cool. It's right at the scene where they're gonna expose the wicked stepmother for killing the girl and stuff like
Oh
that.
my
you
gosh.
know,
All I can think about
Satisfying.
is King of the Hill and Khan Jr. and all that. Watch Titanic on the right day. It'll blow your mind.
That's
That
right.
is the only reason to watch The Sixth Sense again,
Just
know?
if you want a good cry.
If you want a good cry.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you're not stopping to watch it if it's
Oh,
on TV.
no.
And finally, the last of the review questions that we do for every review. Are you happy you watched it?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I don't think there's been any movies that I've been unhappy that I've watched.
Maybe Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, that was a waste of 2
That-
hours.
That one's going to be our go-to, our punching bag, if you will. Sorry if
Yeah.
you like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I apologize if you do.
Snowman and Tori, I'm sure, hate when because they are big Disney fans.
But there are better Disney movies.
Absolutely.
So that was just, there was such a hype for Hocus Pocus. So when I watched it, I was expecting to be like, yeah, this is awesome. This is why everyone raves about this. No, that is not the case at all. So surprise, surprise.
All right, that wraps up Naomi's Under a Rock review
That's right.
of The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Thank you again for taking the time to watch and review the movie. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen to Naomi's review.
Ramblings.
Ramblings. I loved it. That was a great one, especially because the fact that you knew the spoiler ending. You still wanted to tackle the movie and the review and all that. It was a great review, too.
And it was still great. It was still a great movie.
It was fun watching you watch it again.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
Did you have to think about the tune for a second?
I did. If you couldn't tell, it was
There was a
not right.
pause, and I looked at you, and
just wasn't right.
It was almost like deer in headlights. Like, shoot, how does this go again?
And if you are new to Luke and Naomi, that is an old holdover from when we were on the morning show in New Mexico. I just want to
That's
make
right.
sure all of our new people know the stories and are in
Yeah,
on the
because
jokes.
we probably do a handful of things where people are like, "What the
And
hell
you know what?
are they doing?"
While we're there, let's explain Love You Bye to anybody
Yeah.
who might be new. If you're new to us, that started during one of our morning show crazy bits that we did. We had a caller where we read a story about accidentally saying Love You Bye or something like that.
Yeah, like to a boss, like accidentally saying "love you,"
Like saying,
bye.
love you to the teacher or calling the teacher
Yes.
mommy or something like that. And then the next caller who called in hung up, and as he hung up said, love you, bye. And we decided to make that how
the
we sign off.
official sign off after a call. And it was a lot of fun.
It was.
And it was fun to hear, older, gruff men going, "Love you, bye."
Oh, yeah,
and then the sweet ladies going, "Love you guys, bye." We had the variety, and that's what you had to say when you hung up. And
That's
it was
right.
just, it was awesome. And I do miss that, and I miss being able to have the live show for those live calls, but specifically for the Love You Bye.
Eventually, we'll get some upgrades in here. We might be able to do a live show on the YouTube or something like that and get
That would be
everybody back in.
amazing. Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. But that is why we say love you bye at the end of every show if you're new around here. We just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure you're in on it too.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should leave that on your Facebook comments for our topic.
There you go.
Say or put in your answer and then end it with "Love You Bye."
I'll tell you what, Brian from England still says love you bye on every email
that's
that he sends us
awesome.
when he
Wait,
does his homework.
Does Brando?
Not when Brando and I message
All the
a
time.
handful of times
Yeah.
throughout the week.
So it
So if
doesn't
he was
count?
doing that, it'd be like, all right, stop, Brando.
Okay, so your thought of the day. We haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got
what is it, by
distracted.
the way?
A book is just step-by-step instructions on what to imagine.
Wow. That's a good one. I like that.
Mind blown.
Good poll. Nicely done.
Yeah. Luke, you gonna leave us with a laugh?
I am going to do my best.
Speaking of Brian.
All right. Yes, the book of dad jokes that we have, the 100 greatest dad jokes of all time from Brian over in England.
Thank you.
Love it, Brian. Appreciate it. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Fun fact. 6:30 is the best time of day, hands down.
That's stupid.
It is. It's a dad joke.
so stupid. It's not even a dad joke. It's like a grandpa joke. It's bad.
Why do cows have hooves instead of feet?
I don't know.
Because they lactose.
So stupid. How can you laugh that hard over that joke?
Lactose. Like lactose.
No, I get it. I get it. You don't have to explain it to me.
Oh, thank
Oh
you,
my
Brian, for the book,
gosh.
The 100 Greatest Dad Jokes of All Time from Victor Jr. I love I love it.
I got nothing over
Fantastic.
here.
That's episode 39. Thank you all so much for spending another hour with us. We definitely appreciate it. Hitting a milestone next week with episode 40. Crazy.
I know, we're getting close to a year.
We should have a big old birthday bash that lasts 5 minutes and goes to bed early because 40, right?
Sounds great.
That's about
Perfect, yeah.
That's about right. Appreciate you. Don't forget, tell your friends. Luke and Naomi on air everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, eventually. There are videos up there. Check out our YouTube videos for sure.
That's right.
We
Check
just-
out the old one.
We stopped putting the podcast up at about episode 31.
Yeah.
So
We got distracted.
it's been 2 months.
Wow.
Anyway, TikTok, we've got a little ranch dressing themed video on TikTok right now.
Oh, that's right.
Ranch dressing day was Friday, so you can check that out. There's a ranch ice cream coming.
That's right. And hopefully we can taste test
If
that.
Naomi gets her hands on it, she's going to taste test it. I'm going to film it.
You don't want to try it? Come on, you got to take a bite.
I
Don't
mean,
knock it
it's
till you
gonna
try
taste
it.
like frozen ranch dressing.
Sounds
Anyway,
delicious.
Luke and Naomi on air, everywhere you would want to find us, everywhere you can get your podcast. Tell your friends. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week for episode 40. Until then, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love
Love
you.
you, bye.
Bye.